It's a nice sunny day today, so I thought I would pick some chamomile. I've got 3 different chamomile plants started in containers. This is one here that's doing pretty well. And then I've got this other one here that's just full of flowers. So we're gonna pick these and dry them and use them for some chamomile tea. I've also got 2 plants that I've planted directly in the garden, which are growing much larger than the ones in the containers. So they're really easy to pick. And the best time to pick them, oh, there's a bee. I haven't seen a lot of honeybees on these, but I've seen a few, and there's one right now. So the best time to pick these is actually when the petals are sticking out, like this one, these here. But if they've gone back, like this one has, that's waiting a little. You can still use it, but that's not the best time to pick them. But we'll harvest those as well. But for the best flavor, you really want them when the petals are sticking out, like this one here. So to pick them, all you do is put the flower between your fingers and then just pull. And that pulls the flower right off. And I've just got a bowl here that I'll be collecting them in. And you can do multiple at the same time. So I'll do 3 at once. And just pull up. And there they are. And this one, the stem came off with it. So you can just snap that off with your finger. You don't want the stems. So I just finished harvesting the 1 container, and look at all these flowers I got. All that from just 1 plant. So I've got 1 more container to do and 2 more in the garden, and I should have a pretty good harvest. After removing the flowers, you'll notice all these little spiky stems left on the plant. That's probably not going to grow anything, so you want to just cut those off. Just trim it back a little bit. And I'm just going to use some scissors here. And then that will promote more flowers to form, and you can get another harvest in. This is my herb bed, and I've got 2 chamomile plants growing in this box, and they're right next to each other, kind of. So there's one here that's a nice sized chamomile, but then we've got this monstrosity here in the corner that is taking up probably 1/4 of my herb bed, which is way bigger than I want it to be. So after I get the flowers taken off of this one, I'm going to trim it way back, and hopefully it does okay after that. If not, I've got plenty more, so we'll see what happens. We're on our last container of chamomile for harvesting, and since I started the video, I've found out another way to remove the flowers that I think works better, at least for me. So what I do is I take and trim off a piece. So that allows me to take a bunch of flowers, and mine, at least, a lot of them have some bugs on them, so you can just shake the bugs off, and then you don't have to worry about bugs getting in your bowl of flowers. And then I just pinch off the flower with my fingernail, and it goes right into the bowl. And it also makes it so that I don't have to trim the plant after removing the flowers, so I think this actually saves a little bit of time. So you might want to try that, especially if you have a lot of bugs. So that's what I've got so far, and after I get this last plant finished, I'll have a little bit more. Alright, the first flower harvest of the chamomile is done, and this is what we got. Lots of beautiful chamomile flowers. And one thing I wanted to mention that I forgot is to make sure when you're harvesting that it's a really dry and warm day, because you don't want to pick the flowers if they're wet. So make sure you do it in the afternoon when the flowers are nice and dry, not in the morning when they have dew on them, because then they won't dry very well when you put them inside. All right, so hopefully these will get some more flowers, and from what I've seen, the second set of flowers aren't going to be as large as the first set. But this is my first year growing it, so we'll see what happens. I'm just going to pour these on paper plate. Hopefully any bugs that are in there will crawl out. And it might take probably a couple of weeks maybe for these to completely dry. And then once they're dry, I'll put them in a jar and seal it up and just use them when I need some. It's been a couple of weeks since I picked these off of the plants, and this one here is the one that I had in the dark closet, and this one over here is the one I had next to a window. I don't know if you can tell from the video, but the one in the closet, it looks like the yellow part of the flower is a little bit brighter than the one that was in the window, probably just from sun exposure, I would imagine, but I don't know if that really changes the flavor at all. But I don't know, the one in the closet looks better, and they both seem to have dried pretty well, so they're both pretty much ready for storing. So what I'll do is I'm going to put these in a glass jar and seal it up and just store it in there until I'm ready to use them. I hope this little tutorial on picking and storing chamomile was helpful. Thanks for watching.